and I would like to continue with our four arguments. Previously, I talked to you about our first argument was the justification of our model. The second argument was the advantages. I will speak about the social implications of legalizing torture, and my fourth argument will be about the political advantages of that. In my speech today, I will show to you why the leader of opposition did not engage with the PM's case, did not offer a counter model or a solution to the harms outlined, even though he did accept the harms, and he offered three arguments. So I have four rebuttals for him. On the first level, he says they accept the harm. And so in saying that he accepts the harm, he understands that our harms were, first of all, that the economy is damaged by terrorism, that people die and terrorists are committing war crimes, that there is a national security issue, and there is illegal torture going on throughout the status quo. I would like to point out to the honored guests that the status quo is not doing anything to solve these problems. They are not helping the economy. They are not, I'll take you after this, they are not doing anything to prevent future war crimes, nor are they doing anything with Guantanamo Bay and current illegal torture activities that are going on throughout the world. Your POI, sir.
I would like to mention that the status quo is already, your model is already the status quo. And of course we agree that that's not solving anything, so the status quo doesn't solve, your case doesn't solve as well. And please listen to my output. You already mentioned the
Thank you. I would like to reiterate to everyone that I do not believe that torture has been legalized in the world. I do not believe that that military tribunals are being used. I do not believe that within the status quo, currently the United States has authorized that you can you can pick someone up off the street, you don't have to charge them, don't have to take them to trial, and you place them in jail for any amount of time you want. And that's a sheer violation of human rights. That will change under our paradigm. In our paradigm, our mechanism, in a moment, sir. In our mechanism, you can plainly see that we are, and I state plainly in our plan, we're using black ops and covert agents in foreign countries, that they're using people within those countries, that we've increased the security of the borders, that we'll use a military tribunal to catch and convict anyone that we've captured in those countries, and that we are using justice and human rights. And we also like to reiterate that the opposition team did not engage on our issues, so they agree with us that terrorists are not soldiers, terrorists are spies. And they agree with us that as a spy, they should be killed, and we are protecting their human rights. Going on to their second rebuttal, they were talking about that it's morally wrong, that torture is morally wrong, and he quoted the Bible, he quoted Buddhism. I don't recall exactly what commandment the Bible says torture is bad. And I don't recall anything, I don't know anything about Buddhism, but I don't think there's anything in Buddhism that says torture is bad. I think killing is bad. I think holding people against their will without being charged, without a criminal jury, is bad. On their second rebuttal about endangering of human life, we can plainly see that the current status quo is endangering human life, that they are doing illegal torture in Guantanamo Bay, that they're doing secret clandestine things, that other countries are using to recruit more terrorists, that they are saying to people, look, TK's country is torturing our fellow citizens. They're being held without a crime, without being charged, without being a trial, and they're held forever, and there's no end in sight, and therefore we need to fight TK's country. Therefore we need to have you join our forces, and that is how they're expanding upon them. On a philosophical level, you see that the opposition side is choosing not to engage with us, and they're elaborating or alluding that the status quo is their case. But we can plainly see that they've accepted the harms of the status quo, and these harms are not being solved by their case. So on the greater, as I talked about in our first speech, this debate is plainly about, the greater good, it's about human rights, it's about preventing war crimes, and it's about getting results. And we can plainly see that the government mechanism does that. I would like to move to my social argument. As a society, a citizen has the right, the government has a duty and a social contract to protect its citizens. And we see that citizens are being endangered throughout the world through terrorist acts. And they're being inconvenienced. Because our precautions for terrorist acts, such as security, checkpoints, it delays the normal citizen. On an international level, or as a nation, it creates hotspots in the world where people will not go. We know, as an American citizen, you can't go to Israel, then Egypt, then go to Pakistan, and go to Iraq and Iran. Those are places you do not want to be in. Okay? And we also see that socially, it is unacceptable what the status quo is doing in terms of torture currently, and there seems to be no change in sight. The government has a duty to address the needs of the citizens and protect their rights. Okay? Politically, we see that it's the USA, it's the West versus East mentality, but that's not the way the world works. It's a global society. So practically, we must unite to combat terrorism and torture, and we must unite to protect the human rights of our citizens. The United States government is the target. They are at the forefront of terrorist attacks. However, other nations in the world like India, the UK have been victims of terrorist acts, Japan, so there has to be something done to prevent this. It is grossly unfair that the opposition has not presented a viable case or a countermodel and address our issues. And as they'll probably have to do this in their dialogue, but I would like to create to the audience that it's grossly unfair for the government case to respond to that. Okay. As we have debated this today, I have rebutted what the opposition has tried to do. They had 4 rebuttals against our case. They've accepted our harm. They talked about how it's morally wrong, and they brought up the Buddhism. They talked about how the U.S. government is a protector of human rights, and we like to reiterate that there is massive illegal torture going on. We talked to you about the social implications of legalizing torture and how it protects our citizens. It will address the harm that we discussed about. It will prevent war crimes, it will protect their human rights, and we'll get results. And politically, it will unite the world for the greater good. I can only probably propose. Thank you.